Welcome to the check in with Coach Nikki. I am so grateful to be here. We are here today. To those who are joining for your first time, I want to say welcome. To those who have been here for a while, hey y'all. Um, the check in with Coach Nikki is a podcast near and dear to my heart. However, as I'm journeying and creating this space, I tend to also listen to other podcasts or watch other vlogcasts. Um, and so I want to do something at the beginning, and you'll hear me doing it every time. But I wanted to one say that these ideas, I am a coach, certified life coach, but I am not a therapist, nor am I a counselor, nor am I a psychiatrist. So the things that you hear on this podcast are that of my own heart, my own experiences, or those who come and join us here. I'm affiliated with a lot of things, and the ideas and the things that are happening here are not that of those things that I'm affiliated with, but of my own. Um, I listened to the Apology Accepted podcast, and she did this very well. She spoke it so eloquently, and so I'm gonna figure out a way to get it there. But I do want to start saying that because I don't want anyone else to think that these ideas are connected to anything that I'm connected to, and it's not. And so, oh, okay, just wanted to make sure um, that I say it out loud. As I realize, so there may be some liability in these spaces, but the stories and the things that you hear are my own experiences or those experiences of those that are connected. Um, we're going to have an amazing talk today. The check in began literally 3 years ago. It was a space and a place that I needed during a time of grief. And it has worked, not just for me, but for those who I've come into contact with. And so it has continued to grow in this space. So the check in is from 1 to 5. One being I'm present, I'm here, I'm available, I have time. I'm sorry. One being I'm here, and that's all I have. Five being that's the most amazing moments. We're talking about moments, not days, right? Like in this moment at 7:30, wherever you are, in this moment that you hear this, in the moment that you're present with this, where are you? And so for me in this moment, I am actually at a 2. I am not high on the total scale. I am at a 2, and we'll get into it a little bit because I believe in sharing and creating authentic space to share your story. And so we're going to talk about that a little, but the biggest focus right now is for you to check in. Wherever you are in the comments, you're able to check in there. If you're just checking in with yourself, and you like, Coach Nikki, I'm not saying it out loud, but I'm being aware of where I am. Once you're aware, you can take care of you. Once you're aware, you know what to do next. Once you're aware, you know how to move. Once you're aware, you can hold people accountable to how they treat you, right? Because you're going to learn to take care of you. You're going to learn to treat yourself a whole different way because you chose that. And so that's where the check-in came from. The check-in was at a moment where I was in grief and I was having a hard time. And I thought that I could handle all of the things that was coming my way. And so a friend of mine wanted to come over. Y'all know how people come, they bring the food, they do the things. I have people who want to come and clean. I had amazing people. I don't know about y'all, but move the things. And a girlfriend called and said, "Hey Nick, I'm coming over. Is it okay?" And I said yes. As people do, it took her a longer time. When she got there, I was in a different space, but I never said anything. And she came in and I laughed, but I tried to. I was on the sofa. I was also quiet. I just wasn't. And I feel like she gave space for that for me, but I was also ready for her to leave. And I didn't know how to manage that space, but it was because I didn't check on me. Like I didn't make time and I didn't make space for me. And so the check-in came about for me in that space. And so the one for me is like I'm present, I'm here, and that's it. And five being that's the most amazing moment. Right. And so this is what worked for me. I won't promise you and guarantee you that it always works for you. I am saying that you deserve a space or that you deserve to have that moment. You deserve, right, to be taken care of. And you deserve to be the person that does it. Right. Not that there's anything against having a team because I'm grateful for mine. But sometimes the team don't know how to take care of you because you won't take care of you. You don't know how to take care of you. And then you're holding people accountable to do things that you wouldn't do for you. And so that's how the check-in came about. So I'm checking in today in this moment, I'm sorry, at about a 2. I, there is a little girl inside of me screaming about being a part of this moment with you. And then there's my actuality of my heart is hurting. And so in this space, I'm present and at a two. And I'm giving you what I can in this moment. And a part of me, again, as we are human people, a part of me wanted to get on and just give you all of this high energy and paint the space and do the things because this is my heartbeat. But my other part and my other reality is this is my heartbeat. And so I wanted to create what this space is a transparent space for conversation, um, and talk. And in the moment, I'm not my best self, right? But I am healing. And so today's topic is that healing doesn't have a blueprint. And I think sometimes we hear people saying, "Hey, I'm on my healing journey," or "I am healing," or "I have healed," or "I'm overcoming healing," or "I'm doing these things," and we immediately judge where they are. Right? We immediately judge their behaviors. Right? As people, we're like, "Well, you ain't doing better than you was. It looked like you're doing the same," because we're people. Right? And one of the things that I've learned over time is that, right, that we gonna judge. I know that's what the Bible said that we shouldn't, but there's something innate in us that just happens to do that thing. And so I spoke to some of my friends recently, and I realized that I need the judgment because from good people in good space, the judgment brings on some accountability and some growth, right? And so we're gonna get into that today, but I also it's gonna be a conversation coming. Um, so before we like get deep dive into what our conversation is today, I want to give definition because we understand that if we misdefine, we'll miss a sign. That's Julius White. If y'all, that's where I got it from because he'll watch and he'll be listening and saying, "Cole, you took my stuff," but I always give credit where I hear it. So if you're saying something good and you hear it on here, I'm gonna shout you out. So I wanted to create my own definition of grief, right? Because people hear grief and immediately think death, right? And so that's not always the case. So when we know that healing comes out of grief, right? Healing comes because grief has happened, right? But not death, not always death. And I don't want it to get too dark in here, but I also want you to be aware that these conversations have to happen, right? So I define grief in my own words. I know yeah, I know y'all can go out there and look in Webster, and I know somebody got a set of encyclopedias at their house, or you still using Google. But the definition that I came up with was grief is the ache that shows up when love has nowhere to go. And it just kind of came with me. I played around with it for a while, but there's just this ache. It's just this pain. It's just this hurt. It's just this feeling that happens when the love that you have for a thing, whether it be a person, a job, right, a space, a an opportunity, right? Like whatever that ache is, right? Whatever the loss is, whatever that pain is, right? What happens after you lose it is grief, right? Um, Grief is also not just sadness. It's not just, "Oh, I'm sad," right? Because there are some people who are in a space of grief who smile often, who smile and can wave and can take care of other people. Um, but it is this thing that kind of creates memories and reality together. Um, in the beginning of grief, for me, it's loud. Again, it's my definition. You create your own if you want. Put it on in the comments if you like, right? It's loud and then it kind of quiets itself and kind of sits in a corner until it wants to show back up again, right? And remind you a little bit of the thing that you lost. Um, Also, one of grief don't ask for no permission. I don't know. Grief just do its own thing, right? You could be in a space kind of like moving through, and then grief kind of like shows up, right? Grief kind of like says, "Hey, I'm here." um Grief is also a teacher, um showing you or reminding you of how deep you cared or loved for someone. um it also may show you how strong you are when you thought you didn't have any strength at all. Grief is what taps into your healing, which also helps you not to forget. whether it was them, whether it was the thing, whether it was the opportunity, whether it was the money, right? Whatever it may have been, grief creates that space. Um, Grief is hard, right? Grief is hard, y'all. I don't know. Yep. There's some other things I hear that's hard, and we're gonna talk about them right here, right? Not today, but we're gonna talk about them right here. Parenting hard, right? Being married hard, right? Like there are all these things. There are also some things that bring joy in these spaces, right? But we're gonna talk about the focus of today is that healing doesn't have a blueprint. And so I think sometimes we realize or we think that we have all of the answers. And so I wanted to first define what grief was in this space, right? Again, this is the check-in with Coach Nikki. You may not hear that definition anywhere else. So we're going to be talking about and referring back to it in this space. And again, I also make space and make room for you to write what you want, right? And choose what you need because we can't get past or over or through if we don't define it. And so that was my definition. One of the things that I also realized as we created the check-in and this space, and as my healing is starting to happen, or it's continuing to happen, is that grief is not a linear thing, right? If I go talk to another person who is also grieving, even a sibling, a younger sibling, their idea or what they're enduring may be totally different from mine, because also their relationship was probably different with their sibling than mine, right? I have some other people that I grieve for, but my brother's birthday was yesterday, and I miss him. And so learning to, I didn't call him and sing to him, right? That's our thing. That was our thing. We didn't do it. We didn't talk often. We didn't talk every day. So I'm not living in a fantasy, right? Um, I'm saying that there were certain things that we did on special days that we just don't get to do anymore. And so I got to talk to my dad, who was playing the harmonica, and he played Happy Birthday to me. It is not my birthday, but that's what he may have needed for his healing, right? And again, so there's no blueprint, right? Where I was just kind of solemn. My dad just wanted to do something that brought joy for him, right? And it didn't make either way of us doing whatever it was that we chose bad, even right or wrong, but necessary for the person who's working on healing, right? There is no blueprint for it, right? So you have to be able and willing to share your story of healing because it may help somebody else who is also healing, right? Or they may not find your story to be relatable at all. They may not understand why you're doing what you're doing, but if it helps you, then keep doing it. There is no clear cut way of how to handle the grief, right? And again, when we're talking about grief, it doesn't necessarily have to be, y'all listening, death. That's not the thing, right? If you are separating from your partner, that's a loss. If you're leaving a job that you've had for 20 years, also a loss. If you went to your bank account and you're used to having it a certain way and it's no longer there, there's a loss. It's loss. It's going to create an ache and a pain of something that you once had that you cared about or you love, grief. So we're journeying today to realize or help you understand that in this space, in this life, you are going to have a healing process of things. Different each time, maybe the same, but you will too have to heal. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. The goal is to heal, right? The goal is to continue healing. And the other part about healing is to realize that there is no deadline to when it's complete, right? There is no deadline for when you shouldn't cry anymore. There is no deadline for when you shouldn't be hurt any. There is no deadline, right? And don't give yourself an imaginary one because you think you should, right? So at the end of this month, my brother would have been gone for a year. I still miss him, right? I may not cry every day. I may not, but my boys do music. Whenever they send me music, it immediately reminds me of him, right? Because if he was here, they could send it to him and he would have different feedback from mine. But it's all a part of their healing as well as mine because I want all of the music, right? But you have to be willing to understand that as you're grieving, right, as you're in this space and working to your healing, right, that all of these steps and all of these pieces are necessary. They're necessary to get you to next. They're necessary to get you to to the next moment and for you to grow. They're all parts necessary. One of the things I realized as we're helping, and there are gonna be some things that you can be like, you know what, Nick, that is kind of like the thing, right? They're gonna be stages of healing, right? They're gonna be stages of places where you're realizing, hey, okay, I noticed this, I'm realizing this, right? But that may be for me. It may not be for you. But I need you to be aware of where you are in spaces. Be cognizant of the things that are around you, right? Be cognizant of the feelings. Learn your triggers, right? You like Nikki, a trigger, right? There are going to be some things where you're like, you know what, I'm good, and then the right song will come on, or you're going to want to go buy something where you used to could and now you can't, right? And that's going to be a trigger when you look. It's a trigger, right? So now you understand your triggers, and then you pivot. You understand how to move around them so that understanding that the loss of it doesn't hurt you as bad this time, right? The numbness or the disbelief that you endure in grief also play a part in your healing, right? Again, there is no right or wrong way to heal. People will say that, don't drink that alcohol, don't smoke that weed, don't. No, we don't want you out here doing those things. However, there's some numbness that you're going to want to feel in these spaces. Nikki, you encouraging me to drink? No. Nikki, you encouraging me to get high? Not at all. Right? I am saying that people are going to have to journey their own way. And it's hard to realize that until you've also been in the space of trying to get to next. But these places hurt. Grieving is grieving is hard, and it doesn't stop. It comes back around. So when that birthday came, it's like we're a year in, right? When that birthday comes or when the anniversary of that person comes, you're gonna feel it's almost like it comes in like a wrecking ball one more time. But one of the things we realize about healing is that it ends in ing, and that this is a continuous space and a continuum that we're gonna have to continue. It won't stop. Nikki, this conversation for you, it is right because I have to realize me in my grief that I too am working to heal while grieving. And it's not just the loss of a sibling, right? Imagine as a parent, your child is now going from being a toddler, which you saw them as, right, to now being a teenager. There's a loss of what they expect of you. You're probably grieving, right? They needed you so much. They needed you so bad. You got to pick out their clothes for the first day of school before. You had all of the things and you did the things for them. And now they saying, I don't want to wear that. No, I got it. I know what I'm doing. I got this, right? There's also a space that you're going to have to heal from. One is because they're growing, right? Like all of the things and all of these spaces when we talk about grief, it doesn't equate to it doesn't equate to bad things. It is just hard spaces. Right. So I may be grieving how I parent now in this season. I may be grieving how I love now in this season. Right. To those who are in separation or divorce, right, where you have like literally lost the thing that you thought was love forever, right? Grief. But there's also the grief is your kickstart to your healing. So you grieve, you feel, you do the things, and then the healing is the work that you do because you endured the grieving. So you grieve. You got to feel all the feels, the numbness, right? The holidays that are going to come back around, right? You also are going to have to figure out what your coping strategies are going to be. That's the work. The grieving is the experience. The healing is the work, right? But there's no work, there's no blueprint to the work. But you have to get up and do the work. Nikki, I just want to sit on this sofa. I don't want to move. I don't feel like it. I hear you, friend. I get it, right? But you were chosen to live, right? You were chosen for another day to endure. Even if it was that it was the person that separated themselves from you, you still get to choose to live. So now what are you going to do with it? You're going to get up. You're going to go brush your teeth, right? That's the work. This is the healing process. For some people, that's all they got left. If I could just get up and brush my teeth and wash my face today, that's their step. Somebody else's blueprint may look totally different. Their blueprint may be, yeah, if I got up, I went to work, I was effective at work, I did the things, I came back, and I watched my favorite show. Some people may be like, I'm further than that. Like I got it together. I think about them every now and then. We got our song we play in the middle of the night, and that's the thing. But nobody's is the wrong way. So yes, as a person, I'm not telling you don't offer people, hey, this is what I did and this will work for me. Because this platform is literally me saying to you that this is what worked for me. Not every day at work. This is what I use and this is what worked. Today, I was still. That was my choice. Because for me and today, that's what I needed. But you get to choose. The reality is that we need you to just choose to do something. So to my people who are in loss, right? Who are in ache, right? As we talked about grief being the ache. Whoever's enduring the ache in this moment, feeling the loss of the love and know where to place it. The challenge is you place it back in you. You use it. You take care of you. You embrace it because you are here to live. As you work the blueprint that you create for your healing, don't forget about you. If you love them that much, if you love the thing that was lost, if it be a job, it provided for you, it sustained you. But if you stay still and don't look anywhere else, how will you be sustained? What's your next block? What's your next step? There has to be a plan. The blueprint is going to matter. You have a blueprint. There is one. It's yours. It's not mine. What works for you? But there isn't a set blueprint to how. The biggest part is you need to move. Move one step different than you did yesterday. Pick up one part of your body that you didn't yesterday. Extend yourself a little more than you did yesterday because you were left here because that's how we be feeling sometimes. You left me here, but you were here to live. And if you're doing it in anybody's memory, in anybody's heart, they wouldn't want this for you. They wouldn't want you to be stagnant where you are. They wouldn't want you to be drunk as you decided to get. They wouldn't want you to be as high as you thought was the answer in their name. The gentle reminder. The gentle reminder that there is an outcome and it doesn't have to look like that. It can be a space of joy. Oh, let me help you lean in so close. Lean in so close. Do not feel guilty for having joy in your healing. When we lose people, right? When we lose people, we tend to think that any joy that we have is a smack in the face to the thing that we lost. How dare I have this? How dare I celebrate this? How dare I grow? If they loved you the way that you love them, they will want your joy to be just what it is because you're living now. You're still here living. You deserve it. It is necessary, right? And even in your joy, even in the things that you're moving forward to, you take those people, those things with you in your heart. The memories are not gone. You get to take them forward and move forward in it. But this is to your healing. This is to your growing. This is to you evolving in the way that you need. You need to find the joy and the peace to come back to a because don't leave yourself because you lost something else. The next thing I ask you to do is find your safe space. Nikki, what you mean? I mean, find your people that's safe. Find the thing that you need that keeps you grounded. One of my girlfriends said that, that people have kind of like said safe space so long that people don't really take it to be true. But it is. There is a such thing as safe space where I can cry, where I can laugh, where I can share without judgment, where I can share and not be hurt. Find it. It will save your mind. It will hurt. It's necessary in your healing. So although there may not be this scripted ABCD thing, right, for healing, there are some things that you may need on your healing journey. One, you need your voice. It is necessary for you to speak. It is necessary for you to open your mouth. It is necessary for you to share your dreams. It is necessary for you to share your hurts. It is necessary for you to share your grief. So your voice is necessary in the blueprint. Your joy is necessary in the blueprint to your healing. Although you're grieving, there is joy in the other spaces, in your memories, in your heart, in your head, right? There's some triggering things that will get you to a smile on your face when you think about it in the moment. So your voice, your joy, and your safe space that include the people and the friends that you chose, listening ears, but you deserve that. It is necessary for your healing. So to those who are checking in, I'm gonna give you a quick check-in from 1 to 5. One being I'm present, and that's all I have to offer. 5 being this is the most amazing moment. Check in. For my ones and twos who may be enduring some grief, who may be in a heavy place, right? To my ones and twos, I celebrate you. One, for being bold enough to say where you are. I challenge you to do 3 things. One, open your mouth, right? Share with the people that are around you. You created this group, these your friends. When you need them, talk to them. It's not that people won't show up for you, it's that you forgot to talk to them and say that you needed somebody to show up for you. Remove the pride because the speaking saves you. Don't lose your voice on this journey, friend. I also ask that you make some time for yourself intentionally. Intentional time, on purpose time. It can be 15 minutes or a whole day, whatever you have the ability to make. 15 minutes can go in your bathroom and sit, be still, lock the doors. Go outside on your porch and scream. 15 minutes is yours, but be intentional about your time because once you learn to respect it, others will too. The third thing is activate your no in this moment. Again, we're talking about in this moment. Activate your no. No isn't rejection of people, no is just rejection of the ask. So while you're on your healing journey, while you may be sitting in grief, do those 3 things. Only if you're checking in at a 1 or 2. If you're checking in at a 4 or 5, hey y'all. 4s and 5s, y'all have a hard place, right? Y'all get to do something a little different. I get my 4s and 5s to pause, wait, check with yourself, center yourself, and can you handle more? Because what people tend to believe is that because you're in a high place, you can handle more things. That is not to be true. If you can handle more, then I got 2 things for you. If you can't and you say, I'm just here and that's all I got, I take that. But if you're at a 4 and a 5 and you can do more, I ask you to check in on somebody else. You can do it the way that we've done it together, or you can do it your own way. And then I ask you to teach somebody else how to check in. It's necessary. To my 3s, hey, hey, y'all. Y'all my okay people. You walk past them and they're like, I'm fine. It's cool. I'm good. But to my 3s, I challenge you to sit, take a deep breath in, blow it out. You're going to do it another time. Take a deep breath in, blow it out. Be still. Really consider, are you good? Or did you just tell me that because it was easy? Did you just say it because it was easy? Right? And if you did, consider being where you are. Are you a high three or a low three? Are you a high three? Do you do my fours and fives do? If you're a low three, then I challenge you to go where the ones and twos are. If you say, Coach Nikki, no, really, I'm good, then sit and be still in this moment and take it in. And then check on yourself again sooner than later. This is the check in from 1 to 5. I appreciate you for tuning in and being a part. This is a fluid check in. You can check in on yourself again in 2 hours, in 3 hours, but you need to do it often as you think about yourself. In, I'm so thankful that you came to be a part. To those who have done my graphic designs, Miss Cara Presley and Diamond Kemp, I thank you. To our set director, Shanice Harrison, I thank you. To my followers, to our listeners, I thank you. And until next week, I will see you then. Until then, pay attention. Paying attention doesn't cost you anything, but if you don't, it can cost you everything. Peace.